I invoke my right to challenge the captain as per the code.
What? The challenge is thrown.
Before we start today's video, check out our merch shop, linked in the description down below. Use code Ahsoka in all caps to get $7 off your order. May the Force be with you, and enjoy the vid.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Jude Law's mysterious Star Wars skeleton crew character, JOD Wood, is one of his many personas, could very well be Star Wars' newest Jedi, but we think that his backstory is a bit more complicated than just that. JOD is one of the key characters in Skeleton Crew, yet it's challenging to get a clear read on him, especially given his many aliases and depictive nature. Star Wars has also continued to be cagey about whether JOD is truly a Jedi, simply a Force user, or even a Sith, even with just 2 episodes left in Skeleton Crew. In today's video, we're going to take yet another stab at it and try to explain what we know about Jude Law's character, JOD Wood, in Skeleton Crew. Go ahead, hop right on into it, break it all down for you guys with everything that we know and everything that we're anticipating right now. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well to be notified for when we have new videos dropping here on the channel almost daily. There is a lot of Star Wars news and stuff going around. It can be a lot to keep track of. It's exactly why we are here. Not just to keep you guys updated with everything, but also break it down for you guys and get a better understanding. As always, I really appreciate all of the support. Of course, initially, it seemed that JOD was a Jedi, as the show's creators indicated that they wanted to create a quote-unquote new kind of Jedi, and that there was a reference to him being a Jedi in Skeleton Crew's trailer. And while JOD is Force-sensitive, though, there have been many hints in Skeleton Crew's first 6 episodes that he isn't a full-fledged Jedi, if he was ever a Jedi at all, let's say that alone. And based on all of the evidence that we've now picked up from the show thus far, we think that we may have figured out what JOD's background story really truly is, and it would be quite having an interesting implication for the rest of Star Wars movies and TV shows. For one, it would definitely appear that JOD Wood clearly knows the basics of the Jedi teachings, but doesn't really understand them, or maybe listen to them or follow them. Skeleton Crew Episode 5 provided some of the most convincing evidence thus far that JOD may have previously had some sort of affiliation with the Jedi Order and might have even been a Jedi himself in a past life. Towards the beginning of the episode, JOD happens upon Whim, who's feeling down and crying about missing his father and his home, who was at Aten, and his mother as well, who had died some time ago. JOD clearly doesn't have much experience comforting children, as he at first looks rather uncomfortable when he realizes why Whim is crying, and that he is crying to begin with. But interestingly, JOD then seems to fall back on his Jedi teachings to try and help Whim. The first example of this came when JOD explained the issue with attachment to Whim, harking back onto the well-known rule of the Jedi Order to begin with, and that the Jedi should not have attachments, as they can lead one down a dark path. JOD then repeated a phrase once uttered by Qui-Gon Jinn in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Your focus determines your reality. Given how exact JOD's verbiage was, it seems that this was a Jedi tenet that both JOD and Qui-Gon were reiterating, and something that maybe the Jedi Order had taught both of them at some point in time. What arguably is more interesting, and the most interesting, is that while JOD seems to understand the basics of the Jedi teachings, he constantly gets them wrong, or goes against them, or blatantly just doesn't follow them. The Jedi were against attachments, but that was because attachment is linked to feeling possession of or control over others. JOD's explanation to Whim was more in line with selfish aims of looking out for oneself, or only. Likewise, his use of the statement, "your focus determines your reality," only reinforces a focus on the self and one's own desires rather than the need to find a peace within oneself, as Qui-Gon and the Jedi intended it. Another questionable thing at most that we have picked up on though, however, is JOD's use of the Force has been quite inconsistent at best. In addition to misunderstanding the Jedi teachings, or kind of just not using them as I had mentioned, Jod's use of the Force hasn't suggested he's a Jedi. The earliest example of Jod's Force sensitivity was when he had lifted the keys and brought them into the cell where he and the kids were being held on Port Porgo in Episode 2. At the time, this redundantly use of the Force seemed questionable. In fact, Jod's use of the Force in that scene felt remnants of Haja from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, the fake Jedi from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. He has since then used the Force only a handful of times in Skeleton Crew. Maybe it's because it's just when he does it when it's only necessary, but it has never been a major Force feat or an exceptional Force ability, more or less just moving stuff around. More notably, when SM-33 was attacking the group of children, Jod didn't use the Force even then. Instead, he ran at SM-33 and turned him off. Presumably, if Jod was trained as a Jedi and really did have those true Force capabilities, his first move at the moment would have been to use the Force to stop the droid, whether it's a Force push, maybe holding him, something with the Force, not just running up to him and hitting the switch, although it is logical at the same time. And so, lastly, Jod being a child during the events of the prequels and the Clone Wars and Order 66 would explain so much more. Jod being raised in the Jedi Order only to have his training cut short by Order 66 presumably when he was just a child would explain all of these oddities and the inconsistencies regarding whether he is truly a Jedi. His knowledge of the Jedi teachings would be due to his time in the Jedi Order as a youngling, during of which he would have learned these concepts and had heard these adages. However, his young age and curtailed time there would have only impacted his comprehension. It would also make sense that he would have taken the most basic notions away from his time with the Jedi Order, but not fully grasped the meaning of what he had actually been taught. Similarly, his limited use of the Force and its abilities and his failure to use the Force against SM-33 in that time couldn't be explained by his being one of the survivors of Order 66. If he was just a youngling when Order 66 concurred, his Force abilities would be rudimentary, just as they seem to be now in the events of Skeleton Crew. This would also have to explain why he has so much empathy and maybe a soft spot even for the kids, but ultimately turns against them, as he has learned he must rely on himself and himself only. As a youngling survivor of his horrific event of Order 66, he would understand what it's like to be a scared child alone in the vast galaxy. And in the end, though, bearing witness to these atrocities would likely have pushed Jod to prioritize his own survival above all else. And so, if this is and was indeed Jod's backstory, as it very well may seem to be panning out to be, it wouldn't be an interesting update to the legacy of the Jedi. Many survivors of Order 66 have emerged over the years, and much of so have been added to the canon in the recent, such as Grogu and Kanan Jarrus, but Jod becoming a pirate and using the Force only for his selfish ways and aims would be a new spin on a character who grew up in the Jedi Order and survived those events of Order 66. And with just 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew now left, hopefully Star Wars will soon reveal the truth about this quote-unquote Jedi. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an unofficial Star Wars. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Different theories as well. I'm all ears. Let's discuss. I love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Also, leave a like on the video as it really does help out the channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure you also check out our merch shop. Use our codes Ahsoka in all caps to get some cash off of your orders. I also have some Amazon affiliate links in the description down below, so if you're looking to buy something from Amazon, whether it's a gift or something for yourself, check out our available links in the description down below. It helps out the channel at no additional cost of yourself and really means a lot. I'll continue to keep those links updated so they're always changing, so make sure you check them out for what new products we may have available. With whatever way you decide to support the channel, whether it's simply watching today's video or even purchasing a product, it means the absolute world to me. So thank you guys so much. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.
Goodbye, old friend. May the Force be with you.